Welcome to Cooking with Jess, where we make you the hero in your kitchen by bringing the flavor and keeping it healthy. Because over here, we believe keeping it healthy doesn't mean you compromise on taste. Today, I have yet another bright smile on my face. Why? Because we're making sorrel. Sorrel, hibiscus tea, Jamaica. It goes by so many different names. But it's a special, special drink for me and my family during the holiday season, specifically Thanksgiving time and Christmas time. I grew up drinking this, and when I tell you the nostalgia is real for me around this time of year. So whenever I drink this, it just brings me back to that time. Now, this is a very simple thing to make. You see these 4 ingredients here. I don't get too jazzy with mine, but if I may say so myself, I am very well known for my sorrel. And the reason why is because you know me and jengibre. This is fresh ginger, in case you don't know what that is. I goes heavy in the paint when it comes to this. Now, this is a cute little thing here for display, but I go in hard when it comes to making my sorrel. I put a lot of ginger in it because I like for that spice to hit you here and here. I'm here for it. So let's get started. What I have over here is some hot water. You see all that steam that just came up. We have put some water to a boil, and I put cinnamon sticks. Now, for this jengibre, what I do is, I don't know if everybody does this trick, but I learned some time ago, you take a spoon and you just like peel off the skin. It's a very thin layer. And after I do that, I rinse it off to make sure I get all like the little gritty stuff off of it. And I have done 2 things in the past. Here's what I did today. I just take a knife, excuse me, and I go ahead and I like finely kind of like slice it and I put it in here and I let it boil. Second thing I've done in the past, which it requires a little bit more work and one more piece of equipment, is I take the ginger, I might do like a rough chop, put it in the blender, and get it nice and add a little bit of water because we need to have a little bit of water in there just so it's not sticking in the blender. And I go ahead, zip, zip, and then I put that in with the cinnamon stick while the water is boiling. Why do I do that? Because I'm trying to maximize that jengibre flavor. I want to get as much out as possible. You can also do step 1, which is what I mentioned about just cutting it really finely. You can grate it as well. The reason I don't do that and why I kind of shy away from using the blender sometimes is because it makes it so small that when you have to strain this, when you get to that step, you might have some little tidbits in there that you don't necessarily want. So either way, that's 2 options. That's up to you. So go ahead and we put that in. I let this boil, 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 boil. Then the star of the show. This is called sorrel leaves, or also dried hibiscus leaves. You can find this pretty easily if you live in a place, and we're just going to go ahead and put this in. Now, I've turned off the burner, and all we have here is just the steam coming up because it's already hot. I drop this in and I cover it. We don't have any extra heat. Now, there is a little bit of heat that's coming from the residual heat on the burner, and I let it sit. We set it and forget it. I let this sit for about 4 hours, and then I strain it out. Well, I fish out the dried hibiscus leaves and let it cool because it's hot. And this is not a drink that we drink hot. We drink it chilled. So that's pretty much it. Once it gets kind of to a point where it's more room temperature, I go ahead and I add in some, you can use turbinado sugar, cane sugar. If you want to use any others, you can. I'm not even going to call them out because I don't use them here. Just to sweeten it, and you sweeten it to taste. I was so happy about the fact when I looked into this. Now, I already love this drink. I'm going to drink it. I already know that. My littles drink it. They call it the spicy drink. They know it. They love it. When they see it, it gives you this purple kind of color. I'm going to see if I can get it to, if I'm going to pull it out just so you can kind of see the color that it's going to give. Can you see that? And this is kind of light right now because I just put in the sorrel leaves, but it gets like a dark, let me show you right here. It gets like this kind of like, this is the TV magic right here. It gets this dark kind of color. And it will stain. Let me make sure I tell you that. It will stain. So be careful with this, especially when you're adding in your sweetener and you're mixing it. Don't go wild and crazy on it, because if it splashes on something like this, I mean, you can try to get it out, and if you have the right stuff, it might work, but it will stain. So just be careful, especially if you have like nice dish towels or something that you don't want to get this purplish color on there. Be very careful with it. However, I digress. So I looked up some great benefits of this drink. Number one that I thought was outstanding is it tastes amazing. I didn't have to look that up because I already knew. The second thing is that this drink is really, really good for slowly breaking down food. And that's important for people who may have diabetes. We don't want to spike any blood sugar. Now, keep in mind, we are adding sweetener to that. So that's going to counteract how fast it's going to break down the food if you OD on the sugar. And we don't want to OD on the sugar, but we do want to add a little sweetener, a little sweetness to the taste. Also, very high in micronutrients, high in vitamin C. Again, I drink this during Christmas, Thanksgiving time. This is usually where I live. It gets a little cold. We have winter over here. So we want to make sure that our immune system is as high as possible, because we're fighting all type of interesting things. So we want to make sure that if we can infuse vitamin C in our system, vitamin A, we got the digestion that is helping out with. What else can I say about this drink besides the fact that it's awesome? You should really try it. If you haven't had it, I would recommend you do it. Now, I mentioned some of the other names that it goes by, like Jamaica. I tried this when I was in, where were we at? In Arizona. And we were in this Mexican restaurant and they had it, but they had a little picture of the little leaf next to it. I'm like, what is that? I had no idea that Mexicans drink this, but they call it Jamaica. Let me just pause right there. Tastes completely different. I still can taste like the hints of the hibiscus, but it's not with the ginger. So it's not giving me that Christmas time vibe. Like it's not giving me that at all. But it was different. I would recommend you try it if you haven't. I'm gonna go ahead and taste it for you because I'm just ready to drink it. It's nice and it's cool already. And I've already added the sweetener in there to my liking, which is not super sweet. Let me just go ahead and try it. And it hits me right here and a little bit on the tongue. I love it. Thank you so much. Try it. Let us know what it tastes like. Until then, take care of yourself.